The idea of a humanoid robot have been going on for quite a long time, especially the science fiction movies played a big role in maybe inspiring the idea of having a robot that looks like a human, interacting with human, living in human environment, serve human. And recently now we are seeing some companies that they're starting developing such kind of humanoid robot. Like we have seen a lot of videos now, robot can serve at home, maybe interact with people. But for a long time, the reality of robot feed robot technology has been developed in many different shapes. Like we have seen the robot manipulator, which looks like an arm, like a robot that looks like mobile devices moving around like a car. But recently, like we are seeing like a lot of companies moving toward developing humanoid, even though there is a lot of discussion and many debates about the effectiveness of such kind of a design. So, what is the motivation behind developing a humanoid robot? Is it really an effective technology, or we're just wasting our resources and time? Hello everyone, this is Ayman Omar. The motivation behind development humanoid robot has been going on for a quite long time, and there have been a lot of research, a lot of development, a lot of effort done by many companies and university and research center to develop humanoid robot. There have been a lot of debate, of course, about the effectiveness or the need for such kind of technology, because many researchers and many scholars they felt that humanoid robot is just like a waste of resources, because there is no need actually to have a device or maybe a robot that looks like a human being. And instead, like we can just focus on developing robots that can do some kind of specific task. And this was very successful with a robot manipulator, which have shown like very effective work inside our factories. We saw like the robot manipulator can move very fast, pick up things, making welding, making painting, and even like when they start companies start developing robot for service activities, such as like clean robot or maybe delivery robot, or even maybe sometimes also for a robot used for the medical application. But recently now we are seeing many companies are trying to develop robot, and many like of the developers they thought that there is a high need for such kind of technology. And what actually is the motivation? What is actually their maybe advantage point that they want to maybe market to the user? Actually, they say, okay, maybe if you look at many of the robots now available in the market, that you can see the robot is designed just to do very specific task or very limited task. Even like you can see the robot manipulator can be programmed to do a lot of things, but it's just like a manipulator that have some limited application. We cannot use a robot manipulator inside our home. We can use it in a factory, very effective, but not in our home. And sometimes there are some tasks that cannot be done. And mostly like when we want to have some kind of devices that could maybe help human being, we mostly think about the task is being done by a human. So that's why people they think, okay, the developer they think if we can have designed the robot in a human shape, then it can very easy mimic the human movement, and this will make it very easy for the robot actually to do the human work. And this actually gives us to the idea of the general purpose robot. Actually, what is a general purpose robot? General purpose robot, you think about it as your mobile phone. Actually, your mobile phone, the smartphone that you are using right now, is more than a phone. Actually, it's your phone, your camera, your calendar, your maybe social network, your wallet, and even your diary. You can do almost everything with your mobile phone. That's why just one device, and you just by only just downloading an app, and it can become like doing a different purpose. And that's why you say the general purpose device. And people now they want to think that we want to have a robot similar like to our smartphone. We want to have also smart device, which is smart robot, could be a general purpose robot. Like you have one robot, but all what you need to do is download an app, and the robot will just do the task based on the application that is being programmed to do. And the only way that you can have a robot maybe can do several tasks, maybe the best things actually is a human, because humanoid have a lot of function. the arms. They have two arms, camera, head. It can mimic what the human can do, and this is very easy. Like when you have a robot in a humanoid show, you in humanoid shape, maybe it's very easy to like program it to do many things. You can do your work at home. You can do a work as a worker in a factory, in a restaurant, in a hospital, even like maybe in a security work. Everything can just program the robot and it can do the task. So this is what one of the advantages. Like you have a general purpose robot, it needs maybe to have humanoid shape. Another also advantage of the humanoid robot technology is that it's very easy actually. It can copy the human movement. Many of the humanoid robots right now are being actually programmed. Not in like you don't program the robot like to do the specific movement. This movement also is a copy from a human. Either like they copy the human movement and install it inside the robot, or the robot can be controlled by a human using a teleoperation system. The teleoperation system that you can have a human like working some skeleton or wearing maybe some sensors, and by making some movement, the robot will do the exact movement. And you cannot do that unless the robot have the exact shape or maybe exact like a skeleton like a human being. So it's very easy actually to copy the movement if the robot have the human shape. And another advantage also that if you look around at our home or maybe our surroundings, it's all designed for the human being. So in order like to allow the robot to like work in such kind of an environment, it'll be very easy that if it like it can have the human shape. That's why it becomes very easy to work inside the human environment, interact with the environment with a human. If the robot have a different shape, maybe it becomes very hard actually to maybe interact or work inside the human being, or maybe interact with the human being. That's why like these are many like advantage of having the humanoid robot. But what actually is the disadvantage of humanoid robot? Like it's of course like it have many advantages, but the disadvantage mostly it's very hard to design and very hard to operate, because humanoid robot, if you want to have a robot looks like a human, maybe you need a lot of joints, you need very complex program, and this actually will increase the cost of the developing such kind of robot. But maybe the good things that the companies they have learned through experience, that okay, they can develop something not fully like a human being, maybe a little bit similar. So we see now robots actually they don't use a hand with 5 fingers, maybe just a gripper or maybe some kind of sock gripper that that can also pick up things. Even like you don't have maybe to use legs, you can maybe use just a mobile platform. So this kind of a way that you can have something very close to human beings and it can work and mimic some of the human movement, and it's very effective. So companies now maybe are moving towards something maybe very close to human in terms of a function of functionality, not in terms of appearance. You don't have to have a robot that looks appear exactly like human, but if it is like it can mimic the human movement, maybe that could be quite enough to do the task. So this maybe what companies are trying to develop right now, and we think like maybe in the next few years, maybe 2 or 3 years before 2030, maybe we'll see a lot of those kind of robots available in many tasks. I think maybe the first thing that we will do maybe is kind of a structure environment like factories and also like warehouses. Maybe this could be the first step to test the robot, and I think working at home maybe it will take some time, because it's very hard. It's very hard actually to predict the scenarios inside our homes, or maybe working with people who are not trained to use this robot. I think that's why like it will take some time before we can maybe install the robot inside our home. I think maybe we are in the past now for the maybe widespread of this kind of robot, and I think maybe it's will not look exactly like human. It will have some kind of human capability, but it will not like have the human shape. Maybe a little bit you can have two arms and head, but maybe you don't have legs. You have maybe mobile platform, and even like the hand will have some kind of very simple hand design, like small grippers or maybe 2 or 3 fingers robot, not like a human, but it can do some limited function similar to what the task will need. I hope you have benefit from today's talk. Until I see you again, thank you for watching.